Folks, the presidential campaign in 2020 is into high gear as another person jumps in. This time, U.S. Senator Kamala Harris. She announced yesterday on Good Morning America that she is running for the Democratic nomination for president. First of all, that was not the biggest secret in Washington, D.C. To be frank, she's been running for president, the nomination, since she actually joined the United States Senate. Of course, it was a very good day for her, raising $1.5 million in the first 24 hours from 38,000 online donors. After she made her announcement on Good Morning America, of course, on the federal holiday for Dr. King's birthday, she had her first news conference at her alma mater, Howard University. And this is what she had to say about Howard and being the next president of the United States. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. The folks at D-Herbs, one of our partners here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Of course, many of us are focused on a healthier you in 2019. And so some folks, for them, they want to lose weight, they want to look better, they want to feel better, they want to get ready for, of course, beach season. Well, what you can do is what I also did is be on the D-Herbs Body Cleanse. I got 5 more days left, been on it since 2 Mondays ago. And of course, it's not too bad. You're good, it's okay. Raw vegetables and fruits and lots of water, and also with the cleanse, of course, people trying to clean themselves out with excessive holiday eating, of course, processed foods, fried foods, and all of that fun stuff, but not always fully healthy for you. Now, your body needs to recover, and the full body cleanse will help you get rid of the toxic buildup that will not only drag you down, but could be very dangerous if you don't do anything about it. If you want to feel better and stop dragging around and have more energy, go ahead and do the full body cleanse from D-Herbs. Now, all you got to do is go to dherbs.com right now and use the promo code ROLAND for a discount at checkout. That's the letter D for dherbs.com. You can call 866-4DHERBS, 866-4DHERBS. And again, don't forget to use the promo code ROLAND. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.
Howard University Student Council, CUSA. All right. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at my alma mater, Howard University. Some people are asking, why are you bringing everyone together here? And it is because Howard University is one of the most important aspects of my life. And it is where I first ran for my first elected office, which was freshman class representative of the Liberal Arts Student Council at Howard University. So this is where it all began. I've traveled our country, and I know, again, I know that regardless of the state in which someone lives, the core issues that are their concerns, that weigh on them, that cause them to wake up in the middle of the night, are usually the same concerns, regardless of where they live. It is usually a concern about how they're going to pay those bills. How are they going to pay the rent? Are they going to be able to retire with dignity? Can they pay off those student loans? These are universal issues. And here's what I would say as a final point on that. We are a diverse country, yes. And some people would suggest that in diversity, when there is a diverse population, one cannot achieve unity. I reject that notion because this is my belief. Yes, we are diverse. And we have so much more in common than what separates us. And when we emphasize that commonality, when we recognize that commonality, we will achieve greater unity. And in particular, greater unity than we have right now, where there are so many powerful voices who are trying to sow hate and division among us. We have got to reject that. It is not reflective of who we are as Americans, and it is not in our best interest. Our unity has always been our strength. And our strength is our unity. I feel that very strongly.
And, of course, it wasn't 24 hours after the announcement, a right-wing troll announced on Twitter that Senator Harris isn't eligible to be president because her parents had not lived in America for 5 years before she was born in Oakland. Here we go with some dumb-ass birthers. Let's talk about it with our panel. Spencer Overton, president for the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies. Also joining us is Teresa Lundy, founder of TML Communications, and also Malik Abdul, Republican Communications Consultant. So, as I said, not the biggest secret in the world that Senator Kamala Harris is running for president. And what was interesting already is that how folks are announcing. So she makes the announcement on Good Morning America. If you go back to 2008, when President Obama made his announcement. He did so. The state capitol in Springfield, Illinois. Cold day. Did it outside of the building where Abraham Lincoln gave one of his most famous speeches when he was in the State House in Illinois. Then you look at 2016 when Hillary Clinton announced she was running again. Big announcement in New York. What's interesting in this year, you haven't seen that. Even though Julian Castro had this announcement in front of an audience, you don't have the same build up in these announcements. What do you make of, Teresa, we'll start with you, how different it is this time?
Yeah, so I don't see announcements as being that big spectacle as they used to be in the past, right? Because now people are like, okay, now that you announce, what next? Right, and so I think what Kamala did was very reassuring to the public. We all know that when you're on any national media network and you're able to have that sit down, you're able to reach millions of people in that one 3-minute segment. And so what I think she did is something that if everybody else had the opportunity, they need to sit down on a one-on-one.
Well, no, but what's her name? Tulsi Gabbard. She announced on Van Jones' show. Kirsten Gillibrand announced on Stephen Colbert. And so, but still was quite. I find it interesting, Malik, when you think about these announcements. Normally, what happens is there's this huge roll up to it. You have all of your cable outlets, other people out there in terms of, and then there's all of the different focus as a major speech that you announce. Again, it's interesting seeing how folks are not actually doing that.
Yeah, I think part of it is when you look at the bigger speeches, I think part of it is what we have now is the media. I think the candidates are going to really utilize social media. So if you think of the late night shows that some of the candidates have made their announcements, even through social media. Talk about Elizabeth Warren in her kitchen. I think Beto, no, not
Now,
Beto.
she announced the Exploratory Committee, so she hasn't actually announced that she's running for president.
But those type of things, I think these are designed to create social media moments that Hillary Clinton announcement or Barack Obama's announcement in, was it Springfield?
Yeah, it was Springfield.
Yeah, in Springfield on that cold day, they're not built for those type of purposes. And so I wonder, even as they move on into their candidacy, to the extent that these, campaigns will be big public relations, not necessarily substantive. Now, I do think that with Kamala's case, I find the juxtaposition between her announcement on Good Morning America and then turning around and go to Howard interesting. I probably would have made the announcement at Howard. It would have struck home probably a little harder for me if she had made that announcement initially at Howard and then go to Good Morning
Spencer.
America.
Well, I don't know many presidential candidates who've done the first big press piece at an HBCU, right? And I think that there's something to be said for that. Yeah. There's a strategy here in terms of recognizing the base and acknowledging it, as opposed to running away from race and blackness, embracing it in terms of Howard, reminding folks, the fact she did it on MLK Day, the fact that her first big event will be in South Carolina, which is one of the early primary states. It has a large black population. This notion of embracing the base, I think, is important.
I do believe that, to Malik's point, I think social media has also changed that game in that it used to be where it was all about the big event, the big build-up. You picked the right day. You packed it in with 10,000 supporters, and you had folks with signs and all of the sort of stuff along those lines, because it was all about how much free and earned media can you get. Right. Whereas now, at the end of the day, look, you have some candidates who say, I can make the announcement this way and still drive my stuff. Social media, 38,000 people already donating in the first 24 hours. That is what's interesting. Let's just talk about, but also her as a candidate. You already saw last week in the New York Times, Progressive attacking her and her record as a prosecutor. And then you have, you already see that. Obviously, they're African Americans. I've already seen talking about, oh, no, you can't have that. What's interesting about that is that, remember, you've always had for years that if you were a prosecutor, you had to be tough on crime. And so is she now walking into a situation where the buildup of a career that positions you for higher office actually now can be held against you because the base, to your point, Spencer, is at a different place than it used to be?
That's a possibility. I mean, recognize, though, she's like the DA in terms of San Francisco, right? This isn't like the DA in Waco, Texas, right? This is the DA in San Francisco. She did a lot of things in terms of being smart on crime. I definitely acknowledge the tension between DAs and black folks, but I would say that she's not kind of a standard DA. I would also say that, you know, I think there are a lot of white progressive folks who would say, let's try to separate you from your base in terms of black folks by playing this up. This is something they did in terms of Cory Booker, in terms of trying to say, hey, Bernie is over here on issues. Cory's kind of bought off by companies. And so I think this is kind of a standard Democratic tactic of how do you basically say Cory and Kamala are not progressive enough?
But Teresa, I've already seen folks saying that people who were who didn't commit crimes, she fought trying to free them from jail or whatever. At the end of the day, though, her role as a prosecutor and as an attorney general is going to be an issue when the base of the party is now looking at that differently. Again, where it used to be, if you ran and you were running and you took the law and order attack, that was about appealing to moderates or centrists, or in terms of I'm not uber liberal, even though she's in San Francisco. And I've already seen African Americans say, I'm not too excited about Senator Harris.
Yeah, so Senator Harris right now is a part of the move of the criminal justice reform. And in her speech and everything that she's been doing leading up to and per her announcement was about unity and love, right? And I think those are the key messages that we need to really kind of stay focused on as she's moving into some of these rallies and some of these events, because moreover, when we start to see the Democratic Party and some of the individuals that's coming out of it that has a progressive agenda, I think they're going to start to really piece out where she was on some of those issues and really find the balance as it relates to criminal justice.
I'm going to throw this out, and I want y'all to respond to this before I go to my next story. And here's something that I said when Obama was still in the White House. And that is, black voters are not going to give the next black nominee the same runway they gave Obama.
Nope.
I believe that there are a lot of African Americans who have said, folks I've talked to, I've interviewed, and the sentiment that I've gotten is that we did not demand of Obama what we should have, and we are not going to make that mistake again. I think it's going to be a lot harder for Senator Harris, Senator Cory Booker, or even if Eric Holder jumps in. It's going to be a lot harder for them to lock up that black support like Obama did in 2008.
You're reading my mind. You're reading my mind. I said this when Obama was in office. A lot of people criticize, and maybe he did deserve some criticism, Tavis Smiley, but things he was asking of a president. And I said, wait until the next time come around. So we're at a different moment in our criminal justice reform period, where if you listen to someone like William Barr, even in his testimony, listening to him, I was listening to him, and sometimes it felt like I was listening to a Democrat or Hillary Clinton describe where they were at that time and where we are now.
And remember, my reason I'm raising that,
it's important.
Remember in 2007, the issue for black folks was, we don't know if white folks are going to vote for him.
That was the biggest.
And that was after hours.
So he wins Iowa, then it all shifts. Well, now that's happened, again,
not as excited.
And if you disagree with me, that's fine. The sentiment, again, what I have been sensing and hearing and reading is, you're going to have to put forth an agenda that is specific to African Americans. That's not this general thing.
President of all Americans.
If Obama kept talking about rising tide lifts all boats, I've been getting the sense black people are saying, no. What's your black specific agenda? And then we'll get to everybody else. Spencer, your thoughts on that?
The fact that she came out at Howard, the fact that she is running toward black folks. Now, I would agree that, you got to have some policy prescriptions along with it, right? But this is different. You wouldn't have seen President Obama.
But first of all, he didn't go to Howard. So,
Right.
and so, I mean, obviously that's different.
Right.
Obviously that's different. But again, Teresa, I think I'm telling you, all I'm saying is Senator Harris
Yep.
is just like, I'll tell the story. Like, for instance, when she got to the United States Senate,
Come on.
we kept trying to get her on News One Now. And it was like, okay, so she's doing other shows, and she was doing Rachel Maddow, and she was doing Chris Hayes,
Good morning,
and
yeah.
the rest of this show. And then finally, she did an interview with Ari Melber, and I called up Tyrone Gale, God rest his soul. I said, Tyrone, I said, enough of this bullshit.
Right.
I said, bruh, I said, she going on Ari's show? I said, when's she gonna come talk to the only black show? And this actually happened. He said, all right, bro, but there's a lot of shows we haven't done. I said, but there's only one
Right.
Right.
black show in America.
Right.
And the next week, it was CBC. He said, okay, I'm trying to get on next week. So she came on, and I said on air,
Right.
glad to have you on. We've been trying for 9 months.
Right.
And I wanted to be real clear, Teresa,
Right.
by saying, look, I appreciate you talking
All that.
to Morning Joe
Right.
and Today's Show, but talk to home because Obama, after he got elected, it was about 18 months before he came back and did black radio.
Better
Tom
than
Joyner. I remember because I sent the email to Valerie Jarrett saying, hey,
Where is it?
y'all need to come talk to black people. And when he came on Joyner the next week, he apologized
Good.
to Tom for not doing it. All I'm saying is, if you're Harris and Booker,
Right.
you can't do what he did in 08. Go ahead, Teresa.
Yeah, you can't neglect African Americans, but then require us to show up when it's time, for you to get that primary vote. And so what I think, part of the strategy that I know some consultants do in this industry, some of them aren't African American, let's just be honest, that are guiding some of these candidates. And they're saying, look, we need to put you on the biggest platform fast and quick.
Yeah.
But we forget the smaller media outlets who actually gave you a boost, who actually gave you a voice. And so waiting, I'm not in agreement for 9 months and 18 months out of there. To do that.
your point is right.
But it's just, I just want, because, and again, just last
gonna be
point
as easy.
here, again, to just show your point. In 2016, what did Trump do? We know that Jared Kushner later said it. They said, we're going to avoid national media. They went to Sinclair,
Yep.
Sure did. Sinclair Broadcasting.
local stations,
You're right.
Right.
They did.
and did all those interviews on those local stations. I'm just saying.
It ain't gonna be
Spencer,
as easy.
Well, what I'm saying
and it's not just her.
It shouldn't be
I'm
hard
telling you,
strategy.
I'm telling you,
Across the board.
and it's not just her,
Right.
because Senator Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, not just
See,
one. It ain't
see,
just- it ain't-
for everybody watching,
Yeah.
I got receipts.
Yeah. It ain't just
I got receipts.
Yeah.
I got receipts. And see, to somebody watching, I need y'all to understand, you have a hater who will say, oh, you mad because you didn't get the interview. No, it's talking to the audience.
Right.
Right.
Senator Bernie Sanders, for 6 months, when he announced going through January and February, we tried constantly to get him to do Tom Joyner Morning Show. 6 months we tried. Couldn't do it. Yeah, he talked to Killer Mike. Yeah, Cornel West. Yeah, he sat and had an interview with everybody they put on their website. We kept saying, when are you going to come on Tom Joyner? Wouldn't do it. He kept focusing on Iowa, New Hampshire, Iowa, New Hampshire, Iowa, New Hampshire. And finally, come out of New Hampshire, they go South Carolina. Now all of a sudden, we exist. Say, bruh, too late.
Yeah.
Right.
We did, with New TV One, we did a town hall with Hillary Clinton at Claflin University.
I
think
remember
it was
that.
in October
I remember.
of 2015. I tried to do one with O'Malley, Sanders. Couldn't get anywhere with it. He goes South Carolina. We finally get him on. Then all of a sudden we get a phone call. He agreed. Then it's too early. He's not gonna do it. And I said, yo, his ass be on early on Morning Joe.
Yep.
Right.
So what happened? I'm telling again, y'all, receipts.
Receipts.
I then blasted him on Twitter for an hour.
Oh, Lord.
I get a phone call from Ben Jealous. Ben Jealous said,
Ben.
Roland, he is doing the show tomorrow. Can you please tweet it out? He agreed. Then they canceled, put him on blast, and he came on.
And you shouldn't have to do that.
No. But my point, all I'm saying is this here to the candidates. You better hire you some black staff, but you better feed the base. And Spencer, the base are not them young white folks. The base or black people? Final thought.
Her legislative director, Clint Odom, black, when the time very few black folks in top positions, right? Right now, her campaign manager, right? Black. Her sister, Mina Harris, who is a policy director in terms of Hillary Clinton, right? I think this is very different than 2007, 2008, and I think we're going to see something that's different.
Right, but I think we've really seen it after Alabama, after Georgia or whatever. I think we're going to see Democratic candidates who realize I better take care of folks there because, again, if I don't, there are going to be issues.
Yeah, that's
All
true.
I'm saying is,
True.
and I'm just saying, there's going to be stuff there. But also, if you're Senator Harris, it's going to have to be a black-specific plan.
Right.
Right.
So I'm telling y'all,
Right.
black folks, and I've heard it, they said Obama didn't do it, and that ain't going to happen. You can fool me once, you ain't going to fool me twice.
Right.
You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.